What's happening? Andy here. I am here with Kyle Harvey of Flex Technology Group. How are you, Kyle? What's happening?
I'm doing awesome. Happy Friday. Thanks for having me join the show.
Oh, my pleasure. It's a great day to say congratulations to another great promotion at Flex Technology Group. Why don't you give us a little background on who Flex is, and then we can talk about your new position, and maybe after that we'll talk about a little bit about your background that got you there.
Yeah, no problem. That sounds great. So, Flex Technology Group, what we would say, and a lot of our customers would say too, is we're one of one in the copier printer managed services space. Have customers spread out throughout the country. I'm in particular responsible for our California region, which has historically been broken into two, was Northern California and Southern California. And about 18 months ago, Ron Nielsen came in and actually had the mindset to bring California together. Ron has since moved back into a very important role for us out at corporate. And I was lucky enough and fortunate enough to get the opportunity to take the baton from Ron and carry California into the future.
Well, very cool, and congratulations to you and to Flex and the evolution that you guys are going through. You're being a little modest, so I'm going to take this opportunity to just give a little more background. So you guys are, we talked about it before we started recording, but I would say you're definitely one of the top five biggest office equipment resellers that are out there. You're in, geez, do you know how many states you're in? I lost track. I think you have over 20 locations though, and where are you? All over the place.
All over the country. And, we look at it less as where we're physically located and where we have the capabilities of having and providing amazing service to our customers. And we cover about 30,000 zip codes across the country.
Holy smokes. So you started, it's a neat story. Correct me if I'm wrong. This is my understanding of it. So, the legend Frank Gaspari starts this managed print company out in Arizona after making a living selling copiers in Chicago for many years. And he just put together this bulletproof managed print services model that saves customers tons of money and is efficient and is profitable. And then he started buying office equipment resellers and applying that model to them. And little by little, you swallowed up a big chunk of them over about 5 or 10 years. And I mean, the company kind of came out of nowhere. You're not some 100-year-old company. How long has Flex been around?
Yeah, since the beginning part of the 2000s.
Yeah, I mean you're not even 25 years old yet, and the size, the rate of growth has just been incredible. So how long have you been with Flex?
Yeah, been with Flex since the time that Caltronics was acquired in 2017. And before that, I was with Caltronics since 2011. So I've been with our group for going on 14 years now.
Wow. Well, that's a good amount of time, and so you've seen the full ride, and I like, it was really neat at the beginning when I was covering Flex how when he would buy those companies, Caltronics and just a whole bunch of them all over the place, he typically had kept the local market names, right? And then I've noticed over the last couple years, those have started to, I don't know if they've disappeared, but they've definitely faded, and the Flex brand now has been moved front and center. So you've gone from being that kind of local small town office equipment reseller to now more of, I would say, a national footprint, right? And you alluded to it, you have over 30,000 zip codes. You're in more states, as many states as you're probably in almost as many states as you're not in, and it's you're in all the good ones. So, what is it about the direction you guys are going? What was it about, pulling this together and having one brand, one name? And what does that do for you as far as trying to run, your organization now?
Yeah, no, great question. So one of the coolest things about Frank and the entire executive team is really we have the capabilities of going to market as our legacy brands, as Flex Technology Group, and kind of the whole gamut in between, which is really unique, right? And what I think that kind of tells the market, at least in my opinion, is that we can be well-rounded in every facet of the business. The down the street customers, the small one unit, two unit customers are really important to us, and we do an exceptional job there. The mid-market customers, super important. We do an amazing job taking care of them. And with the whole Flex backing, we have the capabilities of taking care of some of the largest enterprise, companies in the country and do an amazing job there. So when I mention one of one, I really feel like we're in a unique space and being able to cover the whole gamut of our industry and do a really exceptional job.
Well, you just have awesome people. I've gone to a two or three in a row now of your annual kickoff. And I'm kind of a fly on the wall at that meeting. I'm just sort of sitting in the back, and that is your meeting. And people come up and talk about how the performance reviews and how each of the territories did, the regions. You give recognition, and it's a lot of recognition for people who achieved. Not everybody comes to that meeting. That's not one of these meetings where the entire company comes. This is the meeting where the people who performed come, and people are fired up. It kind of lights a fire for the under everyone for the year. Um, Moving into your new role and looking forward, you mentioned everything's kind of been pulled together. California is now one giant territory. What are you looking forward to now that it's your boat to row? And what are some of the things you've got on your plate that you want to get done?
Yeah, I mean, it's a really easy answer on this one. I mean, the people in California are what make me excited. We've got an amazing staff who's taken us to, approaching 150 million in annual revenue. We've got huge growth aspirations. Our businesses continue to pivot and taking on new ventures. And what I mean by that is, our production print department is approaching 20% of our overall business, maybe even more than that. We cover everything from cut sheet to industrial print, small format, all the way through grand wide format. We've got a dedicated solutions team. We've got a managed print services team. We've got an enterprise team. And so we just have the capabilities of doing everything and doing everything exceptionally well. So really, there's no ceiling for us in California. But it starts and stops with our people.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. You mentioned production. That's one of the things that gets me excited when I think about Flex. I mean, you're known for managed print services, but production was something that kept coming up in a lot of the presentations. It was clearly at that kickoff, it was clearly a big incentive. I don't know about incentive, but it was a target on the wall for you guys this year. And as you've grown into your shoes, tell me what the capability has been like as you've moved into production more and more, because that was one of the underlying themes of that meeting, I think.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It's something that's near and dear to my heart. Actually, my first role at Keltronics was a production print specialist. So for 5 or 6 years, I was in the trenches alongside our sales team, landing new customers in the production print space. So it's something, again, super near and dear to my heart, something that's really important to our business. So again, if you look at the market as a whole, everyone's talking about a decline and all this stuff. But I think when you peel back those onions, there are still areas that are growing every year. And production print happens to be one of them. And we're really unique in terms of being able to be exceptional vendor neutral with our manufacturers. So when we go into a client's office, our job has changed from 10 years ago to today. Now we just really are a consultant to the customer. We figure out what they need, what their areas of opportunity are, what's going to help them make money, what's important to them. And then based on all that information, we tailor a solution to whatever they need.
Excellent, excellent. What verticals are you really focused on? With production being a nice, just something you're going after and you're turning up the heat on that. What are the verticals you think are in your sights?
Yeah, believe it or not, all of them. I mean, if you look in the right places in the production print space, almost every vertical has something, right? Is education, municipalities, government agencies, big corporations with implant. I mean, you go down the list and really every vertical has something related to production print that's available. And most of them are continuing to grow, run more volume, producing more output.
When you look at production print, it's a hard thing to get into. Once you do get into it, there's a lot of opportunity, but you're limited by your size. And in many cases, I would say Flex is not limited by their size. You mentioned you had a variety of vendors. You can essentially do whatever you want, bring in whatever technology you want. What's it like building that, building this technology offering, this portfolio and production and how fired up do you get when, you can come out of the gate with, five different vendors and multiple solutions. I mean, what does that just do for you versus just maybe someone who just doesn't have the luxury of being the size of a Flex?
Yeah, it opens up doors. And the other thing that it does is we're not pigeonholed into one product or two products even, right? So we really have the capabilities of saying, hey, based on the customer's needs, the customer's environment, here's the best solution for them. And it's taken us what is it, 14 years to land on the portfolio that we have today. And we feel like it's a portfolio that again, serves our customers really well, provides our reps with opportunities to go have conversations. But what I think sets us apart, in addition to the offerings and the vendor neutral, is we have a dedicated team of trainers in the production print space. So we actually provide a free service to the customer that if they elect to go forward with us, we have someone that goes on site, teaches them how to use the machine, best practices of the machine, and that's not just the physical hardware, but we're actually getting into the software components of it. Um, and what I found and what our customers tell us is that's really unique in the space.
Well, that's got to be incredibly helpful. I know I've had some opportunities to buy some interesting technology and try it out. And having let's just say kind of a bat phone approach where I can just text these people and send a picture. It's just somebody on the other line who knows what I'm doing, who's been, in my environment and has set me up and gets, but just to be able to send that message to someone, have it come back to me like that. And then I imagine you guys have a much more elaborate scale than the ones I'm referring to with this project that I was doing. But being able to communicate, with a customer like that, and give them just that stability and that, just that it just eases their mind, right? When they know that I've got a question, I've got a problem, I can get somebody to respond. I don't have to just get on a hotline call and fill out a ticket. Like some of these are just easy questions. I just need to text somebody. I mean, are you set up at that level for them to communicate with a tech like that?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you write text, phone, email, all the standard stuff. But when we've got customers who are in need, I mean, there's so many different types of web tools now that allow us to remote into the customer's environment and be able to real time say, okay, here's what's happening. Here's how we're going to diagnose it. Here's how we're going to fix it. And you're off and running. I mean, our team is really impressive when it comes to being able to take care of the customers and do it in a timely fashion.
That's
And that's
awesome.
what's different in the production print space. A lot of these environments, whatever they're producing is driving their business forward. So it's actually a revenue producing area versus an expense. So we've got to be able to treat it that way.
Oh yeah, when they stop making money and they get very, very unhappy, right? And nobody wants that. That's how you lose a customer. But just I can picture it, right? Remoting in and just you taking charge of the screen and showing me, here's what I'm doing, here's how I'm doing it. It's just moved things along from the way it used to be to a point where it's so helpful. And I don't think everybody does that. I don't think everybody has that capability.
Definitely.
Yeah, yeah. So moving along, what do you guys have coming up over the next? I know actually I know the reason we're in the hat, right? So the one thing I know you have coming up is you guys are kicking off the Patriot Pack Ride. We probably should have opened this interview with this, but you guys are kicking off the Patriot Pack Ride on I believe it's the 12th in Mesa, Arizona. We're gonna ride across California, our first ride across. We're gonna ride across your whole state. And then up into Oregon and visiting dealers and raising money for veterans scholarships and families of veterans to get scholarships. So we gave a lot of scholarships last year. I know Frank's going to send us off with a nice little greeting and nice get us on the road, get us watered and fed, and we're going to leave from Mesa and head across the desert to California. So maybe we'll see you out there. What do you guys have coming up? What are Flex California people going to be doing for the next 3 or 4 months?
Yeah, great question. And we're looking forward to kicking you off, by the way. And as you ride through California, you have the capabilities of stopping at any of our locations, starting in San Diego and all the way up to the California border, California-Oregon border. So feel free to stop in. But we just last week we had our first leadership meeting in California, and that brought our leaders from Northern and Southern California together to talk about the future, to talk about what we're doing, and to drive our business forward. So we had that. We've got a production print showcase that we're going to be doing in November. And that's, we're really looking forward to it. Not only talking about hardware and all the stuff that people are interested, but also the software component and how AI is actually playing into the future of production print.
Where's
So
that going to
gonna
be?
be,
Is that going to be live, a webinar, or is that going to be on site?
that's going to be on site in Southern
Cool.
California. We've got a customer event also coming up in the South Bay area in that November timeframe as well. And then trying to close out the year on a high note. And then we've got kickoff started in January.
Kickoff is already around the corner. That's amazing. I feel like we just did that.
Yeah, the year's gone quick, hasn't it?
It has. It has. Well, this has been awesome. I appreciate you coming on to share with me and our our audience, and just you're a great story. We love watching Flex. You guys have you're just one of those companies I think a lot of people kind of put up on a wall and say that's that's a good company. That's the way things should be run, and you are unique with that print management model that you have, and now moving into this production print. I mean, I heard it first in January, and we got to talking about it quite a bit on the show today, and it sounds like this is going to be moving forward a just growing piece of the pie for you. So, just congratulations on the new role. That's awesome. After a long time, you're at the top, and don't mess it up. That's my advice to you. Don't blow it.
That's awesome, Andy. I appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for coming on, Kyle. Great seeing you.
Talk to you soon.